A stranger called my phone asking for my wife. That same night, her smartwatch lit up with another man's message. The next day, I followed her in silence and watched my marriage walk into a hotel. I caught my wife cheating because of a wrong number. Not a lipstick on the collar moment. Not a shadow in the bedroom window. A stranger called my phone one Tuesday night, asked for Emily, and then apologized. But the way he said her name made my stomach drop, like he knew her better than I did. I was sitting in my car in the grocery store parking lot, half listening to a ball game on the radio when the call came in. Unknown number, local area code. I answered on autopilot, expecting a spammer. Instead, a guy with a low, calm voice said, "Hey, is this Emily's phone?" For a second, I thought I'd misheard him. My wife's name is Emily, but that didn't make sense. This was my phone, not hers. "No," I said slowly. "Who is this?" Silence. Then a quick, nervous laugh. "My bad, man. Wrong number." The call ended before I could say anything else. I stared at my screen. The call lasted 8 seconds. Just long enough for my pulse to start racing. People dial wrong numbers all the time, I told myself. But there was something about the way he said her name, like he wasn't just guessing. Like he'd said it 100 times before. The weird feeling followed me into the store. I forgot half the things I was supposed to buy. I kept replaying the call in my head, turning it over, looking for something rational. When I got home, Emily was at the kitchen counter, hair in a messy bun, laughing at something on her phone. She looked up, smiled, and for a moment everything felt normal. "Hey, you were gone a while," she said, taking a bag from my hands. "Line's crazy?" "Yeah," I lied, setting the milk down too hard. "You get any calls from a weird number?" "Someone said they were looking for you." She frowned, but it was quick. "Barely there." "No. Why?" I shrugged like it was nothing, but my eyes were on her phone, face down on the counter. That night, after she fell asleep, I lay in the dark listening to her breathing. Our ceiling fan clicked every third rotation the way it always had, but somehow it sounded louder. My phone was on the nightstand, that unknown number sitting there in the recent calls list like a splinter. I told myself I was being paranoid. The next morning, while she was in the shower, her smartwatch lit up on the dresser. I hadn't meant to look. I really hadn't. But when the screen flashed, I saw a name I didn't recognize, followed by a message that made my blood run cold. "Can't stop thinking about last night." I froze. My brain read the words before I even realized what I was looking at. "Can't stop thinking about last night." The sender's name was saved as just a letter, D. No last name. No emoji. Just that one initial, sitting over words that did not belong in my house, on my wife's wrist, in my life. The shower was still running. I could hear Emily humming, off-key, like she always did when she thought no one was listening. My heart started pounding so hard it felt like it was shaking the floorboards. I told myself there had to be an explanation. Some innocent, stupid explanation. I didn't touch anything, didn't scroll. I just stared until the screen dimmed and went black, taking that sentence with it. I stepped back like I'd seen a ghost right there in our bedroom. When she came out, wrapped in a towel, she smiled at me and kissed my cheek, warm and damp. "Morning," she said. "You're up early." "Yeah," I said, my voice thinner than I wanted. "Couldn't sleep." She started getting ready, moving around me in that familiar way two people do when they've shared the same space for years. Reaching over me for the hairbrush, opening drawers by muscle memory. I watched her put on her watch, the same watch that had just brought a stranger's words into our room, like head knocked on the door and walked right in. "You sleep okay?" I asked. She hesitated just a second too long. "Yeah." "Why?" I could have asked her then. Could have said, "Who's D? What happened last night? Why is someone telling you they can't stop thinking about it?" But the words stalled at the edge of my tongue. Instead I said, "You were tossing a lot," which was only half true. The one tossing was me. She shrugged. "I had a weird dream. That's all. On my way to work, I couldn't shake it. The message, the wrong number from the night before, the way she'd paused. It all lined up too neatly, like a puzzle picture starting to show itself before the last pieces are in. At a red light, I pulled out my phone and texted the unknown number that had called asking for Emily. Hey, who is this? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Came back. Sorry, man, wrong number yesterday. I stared at that. My thumbs hovered. Do you know Emily? This time, nothing. The light turned green. Car honked behind me. I shoved the phone away and drove. Later that afternoon, when things were slow at the office, I opened our shared cloud account on my computer. We'd set it up years ago to back up photos and notes. I wasn't even sure she still used it. But there it was. A note synced from her phone, updated the night before. The title was just a date. And in the body, one line. Hotel on 8th again. Same room. Feels worse and better every time. I stared at that sentence on the screen so long the words started to blur. Hotel on 8th again. Same room. Feels worse and better every time. I read it out loud under my breath, like maybe hearing it would make it mean something different. Didn't. It sounded even worse spoken. My ears rang. I felt this strange distance from my own body, like I was sitting behind myself, watching me breathe too fast in a cheap office chair under fluorescent lights. I checked the timestamp. 10:47 p.m. Last night. At 10:47 p.m. last night, Shed texted me that she was wiped from work and going to bed early. I'd been on the couch, half watching a game, thinking it was sweet she wanted to rest. I remember turning the volume down so I wouldn't wake her, and she had been at a hotel. On 8th. Again. I minimized the note, then opened it again. Like maybe it would vanish. Like it was a glitch. But it stayed there, ugly and real, sitting between grocery lists and old packing checklists from trips we'd taken together. I should have gotten up and walked outside, caught some air. Instead, I opened a new tab and searched hotels 8th Street and our city's name. A list popped up. The second one down was a business hotel I recognized immediately, tall glass front, generic logo. I'd driven past it 100 times on my commute, never given it a second thought. My fingers moved before my brain did. I clicked maps, zoomed in on the street, on the building. I tried to picture her walking through those sliding doors. Did she hesitate? Did she look around first? Did she tuck her hair behind her ear the way she does when she's nervous? My stomach twisted. Hey man, you good? My coworker Mark leaned around the partition. I alt-tabbed so fast I almost knocked the mouse off the desk. Yeah, just got an email. You look like you saw a ghost. Just a rough morning, I said, forcing a smile. Didn't sleep great. He gave me this long look, the kind people give when they want to ask more but decide not to. Well, if you're free later, we're grabbing a beer after work. You should come. Yeah. Maybe I lied again. When he walked away, I opened the note one more time and took a screenshot. I emailed it to myself from a personal address, hands shaking. I hated myself for doing it and also knew I needed proof. Something tangible, in case my mind tried to rewrite this later, soften the edges. The rest of the day dragged. I answered emails, sat through a meeting where my boss clicked through slides about quarterly projections. People laughed at some joke I didn't catch. My phone buzzed in my pocket around 3. Emily, dinner at home tonight? I can pick up pasta stuff on my way. I stared at the text. My thumbs hovered over the keyboard. Sure. Sounds good. That's what I sent. Like a coward. Like everything was normal. On the drive home, I took the long way on purpose and accidentally ended up on 8th. My heart thudded harder with each block. There it was, the hotel from the map, all glass and polished stone. Its sign glowing even in the late afternoon. I slowed at the light and just looked at it. People walked in and out, carrying small suitcases, talking on phones, laughing, completely unaware that for me, that building was now radioactive. I tried to picture which window might be their room. Same one every time. My light turned green. I didn't move. The car behind me honked. I rolled forward, fingers locked so tight around the steering wheel they hurt. At home, she was already in the kitchen, sleeves rolled up, chopping garlic like we were the picture on a cookbook. Music played low from the speaker. She glanced up and smiled. Hey you. Perfect timing. Hey, I said, and my voice sounded wrong to my own ears. She came over, kissed me, then went back to the stove. "You okay? You look tired." "Long day," I muttered, setting my keys down. "You?" "Same. I'm glad to be home," she said, and for just a second, something in me snapped. Home. She called this home like there wasn't a hotel room on 8th Street visiting her memory every time she blinked. I opened my mouth. The words were right there, hot and heavy. "What's the hotel on 8th? Who's D?" But then she turned, laughing at something on the radio, flipping the pan like she'd done 1,000 times, and I lost my nerve again. Instead, halfway through dinner, I went a different route. "So," I said, trying to sound casual, "you still backing up stuff to the shared cloud? On your phone?" Her fork paused halfway to her mouth. "Why?" she asked. Her fork hovered in the air like time had stopped. "Why?" she asked. I shrugged, forcing my eyes down to my plate so I didn't have to see her face, in case it gave something away. Just wondering. I was trying to find that packing list from when we went to Denver. Thought maybe it was still in there. A beat of silence. Then her fork clinked down on the plate. "Oh, yeah, I think it still sinks," she said lightly. "Why? Did it not show up?" The question sounded simple, but it landed like a test. I felt this weird sense that we were both pretending to walk on level ground while the floor gave way under us. "Nah," I lied. "I probably just deleted it." She nodded, took another bite, and just like that the moment seemed to pass. For her. Anyway, she started talking about something funny her coworker had said. I nodded in the right places. My ears were buzzing too loud to follow. After dinner, she did the dishes while I pretended to watch TV. Really, I was watching her reflection in the darkened screen. The way she checked her phone, typed quickly, then turned it face down on the counter. The way her shoulders were a little too tight. "Hey," I said casually, "you still slammed at work tomorrow?" "Yeah," she called back over the running water. "Might be late. We've got that quarterly review mess." I knew that was a lie before she even finished the sentence. Her company had their big reviews in March and September. It was neither of those. "Right," I said. "Quarterly." She didn't correct me. That night, when she fell asleep, I lay there staring at the red glow of the alarm clock. 12:18 a.m. My heart was doing that uneven, anxious rhythm thing. I reached over and gently slid her phone off the nightstand, hands shaking. I didn't know her passcode. She'd changed it a few months back. I told myself then it was for security. Now it felt like a wall ID helped her build. But her smartwatch, that was different. I got out of bed, moved to the dresser, and picked it up. It still lit up when I raised my wrist, no code needed. I scrolled through notifications, breath shallow. There he was. D. Tomorrow. Same time. Her reply from earlier. Can't stay as long. But yes. I put the watch back exactly how it had been and sat on the edge of the bed, my legs barely holding me. Tomorrow. Same time. She was planning to see him again. Less than 24 hours from now. The next day, I told my boss I wasn't feeling well. I went home sick, sat in my car in our driveway, and waited. Around 4, Emily's car pulled in. She came inside, stayed just long enough to change clothes and fix her hair. Then she left again. 10 minutes later, I was following her from 2 cars back, palms slick on the steering wheel. Every turn she took tightened the knot in my chest. Left on Willow, right on 8th. My breath left my body. She turned into the hotel lot like she'd done it 100 times. Parked in a spot close to the side entrance. I pulled into the strip mall across the street, killed the engine, and watched. She sat in her car for a minute, looking at her phone. Then she stepped out, smoothed her shirt, and walked toward the doors. A man was already waiting there, leaning against the brick, hands in his pockets. When he lifted his head and I saw his face, my world tilted. Because I knew that jacket. I knew that smile. I knew that man. American Heartbreak Story. It was Mark, my coworker. The guy who leaned over my cube and asked if I was okay. The guy who invited me out for a beer like he cared. He was standing there outside that hotel like he owned the place, like he was just waiting for his order at a coffee shop. I watched Emily walk up to him. She smiled in a way I hadn't seen in a long time. Not the tired end-of-the-day smile she gave me when she walked through our front door, but something lighter, younger. He said something. She laughed, and then, without even checking if anyone could see, she stepped into him and he wrapped his arms around her. It wasn't a quick hug. It was that slow, familiar kind of embrace that says this isn't the first time, and they both knew exactly how the other fit. My hands slipped off the steering wheel. For a second, I honestly thought I might black out. The parking lot blurred. My chest hurt in this sharp, unbelievable way, like my ribs were too small to hold what was happening. Could have gotten out. I could have stormed across the street, shouted both their names, made a scene right there on the sidewalk. That version of me existed in some other life. But the version of me sitting in that car just watched. They disappeared inside together. I don't remember driving home. I must have, because suddenly I was sitting at our kitchen table in the dark, phone on the wood in front of me, staring at my reflection in the black screen. My face looked older somehow, like this single day had added years. An hour passed, then two. At some point, I opened the cloud account again. That note was still there, same line, same hotel. My thumb hovered over the delete button. Instead, I took another screenshot. A little after 9, I heard her car pull in. I didn't move. The door opened, closed softly. Keys in the bowl. Paused like she was listening. "Hey," she called. "You up?" "In here," I said. She walked into the kitchen, already mid-sentence. "Sorry, things ran late and then traffic was..." "Which room is it on 8th?" I asked. She stopped. It was like someone had hit a switch and turned her whole body off mid-motion. Her purse slipped a little on her shoulder. "What?" she whispered. "The hotel," I said. My voice didn't even sound like mine. It was calm, almost too calm. "On 8th Street. Same room every time, right?" "That's what you wrote." Every bit of color drained from her face. "Do you read my notes? That's what you want to talk about?" I snapped, and the calm cracked. "That I read your notes?" She opened her mouth, closed it again. Her eyes were shiny. "I can explain. I saw you," I said. "Today. At the hotel. With him." I didn't have to say Mark's name. I saw it hit her anyway. For a moment, the only sound in the kitchen was the clock over the sink ticking too loud. Then she sat down like her legs gave out. "How long have you known?" "Since the wrong number," I said. "Since your watch. Since that note. Since my friend has been looking me in the eye at work while he sneaks around with my wife." Tears spilled over. "I never meant..." "Don't," I said and held up a hand. "Please. Whatever you meant, we're past that." We sat there in the wreckage of our quiet little life and finally told the truth. It tumbled out of her in pieces, how it started with venting, coffee breaks, long talks about nothing and everything. How nothing became something and then grew into this whole secret life between hotel walls. Each detail felt like another brick being stacked on my chest. I didn't yell. I thought I would. I thought I'd throw something, break a chair, punch a wall. Instead, I just felt empty, like someone had scooped me out. At one point, she reached for my hand like muscle memory. I pulled it back slowly, and the look on her face when I did will probably stay with me until I'm gone. "I don't know what happens next," I said finally. My voice was hoarse. "I don't know if I can forgive you. I don't know if I even know you. I'm so sorry," she whispered, over and over, like that word might glue everything back together. I looked at her, the woman I'd built a life with, the woman who knew exactly how I took my coffee, who could finish my sentences, who also kept a room number on 8th Street like a second address, and I realized something painful and simple. Trust doesn't shatter all at once. It cracks in tiny lines you ignore until one day the whole thing gives way. We talked until the clock on the wall said 2:13 a.m., but we didn't solve anything. There are some things you can't solve in a single night, no matter how much you want to. People ask when they hear parts of this story, "So did you stay? Did you leave?" The truth is, that question is bigger than one moment, bigger than a wrong number, bigger than a hotel room. What I know is this. That night, I went to bed on my side of the mattress, as far from her as I could get, staring at the ceiling fan clicking every third rotation. And for the first time since I'd met her, I fell asleep not as a husband, but as a man trying to remember who he was before all of this. Sometimes the real story doesn't end with a decision. Sometimes it ends with a question you carry with you. When someone breaks your heart, is it possible to rebuild it without leaving some parts of them inside the cracks?